Welcome in, Flow and Charts. If you're new to joining us, feel free to drop some flow requests, any questions about unusual whales, so on. It's been a pretty slow day, so I don't know if we're going to be doing that full hour today, but we'll try to go as long as we can. Yeah, just very, very slow flow-wise there. Um, yeah, it's been a hey Pipsy, what's up? Yeah, it's just been a very slow day. We can look at these Mara calls that just hit. And a lot of that flow, I mean, a lot of chasing flow coming here. I mean, 46 days out, we're going to overlap earnings. We're up a little under 7.5%. Oh, another hit there, too, at the same time. Yeah, anything that's chasing like this is going to be in that. We're going to say, oh, yeah, I saw NOK there. I don't know if you saw Whale Watch earlier, but man, yeah, those things absolutely printed there. I'll throw this in that risky flow. Yeah, flow has been just absolutely brutally slow. Let me just pop this in here. And yeah, we'll look at market tide and Periscope here. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a full hour stream today. Just very, very slow. But yeah, let's go take a peek at Periscope. I don't know if you saw us kind of talking in the chat a little earlier. I'm gonna just pop it up over here. But we were looking at SPY there, so I mean we are kind of sitting on that 68.40 level, and again, it's pointing out that little higher gamma there at that 68.60 there, and again, just kind of context. I mean, very slow snooze fest there, but said wouldn't surprise me if we slowly chopped up to that, and let's take a peek at Periscope here and see what we're doing right now. Look at that. We slowly chopped up to it. There is our 68.60. Yeah, very low volume there, though. I was not looking to trade anything. It's just very, very slow. Now we're up here, and it's pretty much hands off with that low volume there. Market tide, again, very clearly bullish here. Premiums haven't really fluctuated too much. I mean, puts are just essentially flat here. Just a lot of call volume coming in, call premium led by SNDK. So out of that 311 million, about 71 million of that is SNDK. So that is a absolutely big contributor there. But yeah, flow's been pretty quiet. Oh, excuse me. Oh, yeah, you can see it's making me tired. I will talk about our flow and charts as we wait for some flow to come in here. We didn't close, or we actually opened pretty favorably here. We're just kind of chopping in the middle here. We're chopping in the middle here. That Amazon idea is still open there. That would be nice to kind of see a little pullback there. We'll see what happens. I snagged a couple of these after Whale Watch here, but yeah, very low volume so far on there, and I'll be the fun one to break a little news since we're so slow right now. Our net call premium gaps channel and daily gamma gaps channel will be, pop it up here. Computer's moving as slow as me. I'm gonna actually start tracking those net premium gaps and gamma gaps channel there. So gonna kind of figure out kind of how to price it and stuff. But because we looked at all those net premium gaps from last week, absolutely big moves on them. So we'll see. I'm just gonna kind of pilot test run this for a little bit, see how the stuff kind of works out here, and we'll probably, oh, excuse me, start that maybe the beginning of May. But yeah, we'll start tracking those net premium gaps, gamma gaps, and obviously our floating charts is already tracked. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I'm sitting these Amazon puts here. Would like to see a little pullback here. Charts showing we're in that good uh, supply resistance zone there. Yeah, we can look at IWM flow here. Yeah, feel free to drop a request because I do not have much going on otherwise. Are you looking calls or puts on IWM there? So I'm just trying to see what hits the calls. Okay, so let's just see what's hitting my filter today. So a lot of this, so about 1234, 12. Yeah, so these ones aren't up too much here. 405 on the 267.51 expiration would be paying maybe about 5% over what their cost was. Let's just kind of take a peek here. Let's see, 1234, 2317. Yeah, I mean, I would read these as a buy here. You got that. You're filling with the ask. Your IV doesn't drop or anything. I mean, those look pretty good there to me. Let's look at those shorter dated ones there. These are right at the money. 347 looks like they're closing at 377. So yeah, that would be more of about a 10% chase on those. And this one doesn't look like I have any contacts possibly. Oh, we might here. 23. So okay, IV spike there. Yeah, I would say these also look like a buy here. So have kind of two pieces of IWM flow there to kind of go off of. Let's look at our net premiums here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything either way on the net premiums there. Just kind of flat overall there. Not really seeing any bid side action there. Not really seeing any heavy ask side action. Our heavy ask side action was back here on the 8th, and it looks like we already kind of moved up from that. But yeah, I would say I like those two pieces of flow there, that 5-1 and that 421, 267, 264. I would prefer having some time on contracts just to avoid heavy theta decay. But yeah, I'd say out of those two, my pick would probably be that 5-1-267 call. Can see if we got anything else kind of coming in here. Let's look at the gamma on it too. Gamma has been improving, that's good. And again, everything's going to be headline risk right now too, so just keep in mind any sort of headline that drops can impact everything, which is not always fun. But yeah, let's just see. Yeah, not a whole lot here. Just kind of doing a glance. Yeah, your daily gamma's coming up there. How's our IV rank look? Yeah, so it seems that this when our IV rank goes up here, it almost looks like IWM kind of excluding this spot back here tends to kind of follow along a little bit there. Kind of not a major inverse. It's kind of choppy around there. I was kind of looking up here first, but yeah, we come up and then we go down. Yeah, not really anything interesting there. Let's just do one more quick look here. We'll see if we can filter out some contracts here for you. 50. Let's do 0.10% out, at least 10% of the money. We don't want big multi-legs. So let's just see what we can kind of whittle down here to. So this put, very long dated put, we're going to put a cap on this data expiration here. 1 second. I'm going to assume you're probably looking more midtermish on those IWM calls. So let me just do like 50 days. So big 0 day, obviously you don't really care too much about that now. Yeah, puts, yeah, not really seeing anything major there. We'll just kind of do a quick overview. Yeah, a lot of kind of contracts coming in here. Would want to double check that because it looks like this could possibly be with that 4,000 contracts yesterday carrying over into today. Could be them possibly exiting. Let's just take a peek. That's kind of what it looks like to me. You would want to verify that open interest tomorrow, but you can see 4,000 contracts traded here. We've got one there, one there, one there, one there. So 4,000, 4,000. Now, a really good example here. Couple of things that I would be looking for in that open interest tomorrow. either this open interest is gonna increase by, barring any other big candles, increase by about 4,000. So that would mean this whale actually added to this position if we see a big open interest increase. Now, if our open interest stays the same here, about that 4,200 or so, that whale passed these contracts off to somebody else. And if this open interest drops off here, that whale closed them. So this would be a good example. We can look at this on the stream tomorrow. This will be a, actually, I'm going to actually save these here and we'll take a peek at them tomorrow. But yeah, good example here. I mean, again, big misconception will always be that everything at the ask is a buy. This is either I would make a good educated guess that, and it's just weird because it's coming in chunks of that 1,000. I think that open interest may stay the same. Again, I mean, we won't know till tomorrow, but just kind of the way that it's coming in there, it's just odd there. If that whale would have got out all at the same time, I see it probably being one big 4,000 stick there versus little mini 1,000s. Could be ads though. Again, that open interest will tell the story tomorrow, but this will be a good one to look at on the live stream tomorrow as well. So let's go back there. Let's just see anything else. 18 days on these. Yeah, I'm just looking for clean IWM flow here right now. 4 days. Already a move on those. 267s. These are the ones that we looked at. I like these here, and it's only about a 5% chase from this level here. I do like seeing that call premium kind of ticking up there a little bit too. But yeah, everything else just kind of, yeah, there's so much flow on the ETF stuff, so I just kind of be be cautious, take it with a grain of salt. IWM too, I've noticed that flow tends to kind of be a little more multi-leggy too for the most part. I don't know why, very odd, but yeah, I'd be very cautious because I am kind of looking down here. It's not as big as these upper premiums here, but yeah, a lot of kind of puts coming in here that shorter midterm there. They're targeting that 515 early May contracts as well there. So I would just be cautious with that too. Just a lot of puts coming in there. And again with ETFs, you see a lot of hedging going on in there too. So just very very cautious with ETF flow. What I like to see is kind of like how these ones hit here. Let me pop this out. So when I'm looking for ETF flow, I am kind of looking for more size here. So like these EWZs could be interesting here. Like it's a big chunk of big size coming in here. It does look like we have some previous volume. Yeah, just a lot of kind of volume here on this one. I would assume most of this volume should carry over. You're not seeing those kind of same size candles like we were just looking at there. Little high on the multi-leg part of things. I bet that multi-leg's here in that mid-side fill. Yep, right there. So yeah, big multi-legger there too. So just kind of clouds the flow a little bit there. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, and if you guys want me to look at anything specific at all, let me know. No, OXT. That was just me kind of guessing what I was seeing there. It just means that I can go back and show you here 1 second. So like when I saw that fill there and I see that multi legs up there, I'm gonna assume it's probably a contract filling at the mid, or it's a part of a multi leg there. There's blue doesn't necessarily mean multi-leg, that just means it's filling at the mid, so I'll show you that again here. So you see that's the 86 there, that's your spot fill. Your bid ask is 84 to 88, so it's filling right in the mid, hence that kind of mid fill language there. But that was just me kind of seeing that, and it's unusual because you don't see any kind of, and that multi-leg trade could have been in one of these as well too. That was kind of just a lucky guess there too. But yeah, you see that high multi-leg, you see that mid-fill. Usually when they're kind of doing multi-leg transactions, it's not always directly at the ask or at the bid. Um, did he? Let's go take a peek. I can pull up his Twitter here. Mr. Snorlax. Let's see. He just he didn't get it after that little. Okay, he got it before that little roll there. So or not roll, that little multi-leg. So we'll see if he updates that. But yeah, no, that with that multi-leg there, it just kind of clouds it a little bit for me. I just want to see that open interest tomorrow as well on that. Let's see what do we got. Yeah, back to the ETFs too. Like I like seeing kind of that bigger size. You know, those big 3,000, 5,000, 4,000 traded contracts, 500 contracts. Like you might see this and you're like, oh, the 422 680 SPY put's getting a lot of action. This is only 296K in premium. That is very, very, not even a drop in the bucket for ETF flow. I mean, this is probably not even, yeah, not even a percent of that total gain. And to kind of do a little context for you, let me just see if we had a big SPY whale in here. Let's go over here. Let's see. I'm going to do it like this. So like you see those big massive premiums here on SPY. Like this is how much premium is traded on ETFs pretty much daily here. So I'm just trying to see if I can find one that's not a 0 DTE just for an example. So like okay, yeah, we'll go with that 424 690 put here. So let's say you see this hit the tape here, you look at it. We'll pretend it's just a singular contract just for the sake of this. So it'd be one of those singular big volume contracts. We'll just pretend all the volume's one contract. Again, that 15 million, not even 1% of the premium on SPY. So I almost prefer kind of looking for big sized openers on here versus premium. I mean, sometimes it will be premium where it's like 30, 40 million on one trade. Like these things came in right at open too. 21 million there. Like this one, obviously not SPY, but 23% of that total premium, and that's 25 million. There's still about 75 million that was not traded at that time. So I mean, just ETFs get a lot of premium and a lot of volume, so very, very picky on that flow, I'd say. All right, let's see what else we got coming in here. Periscope, we'll do a Periscope check here. Yeah, we're just sitting right at the top of our spread here, that 68.60. Again, if you missed it earlier in the chat, we did kind of call that up and said looking for that kind of slow grind up, but kind of getting to the top here now. Wouldn't surprise me to potentially maybe see us come back down to that 68.50. We'll see what that update is here in about 5 minutes. We'll come back and take a peek. Market tide, yeah, it's still just bullish here. Not really much to kind of touch on there. That call volume's been growing. Put premiums just kind of dropping and chopping there. Call premiums just slowly tailing up. So I mean, it's a bullish market tide, but a very slow moving market tide right now. All right, flow wise, let's see. Yeah, we looked at those Maras. Yeah, the flow has just been very slow today. BE, yeah, oh, these already kind of ran a little bit there. 13% out of the money for 4 days, though, is kind of a little risky there. And these didn't really read as a good buy anyways. Your IV drops, your spot is filling at the ask there. Just not the best looking tape there. Alright, let's see, what else do we got? We can look at those MU puts. That is our one flow alert for the day. Yeah, it's absolutely a brutally slow day. So the MU put sells, one of our tracked flow names. Open 238, trading down at 2 there. Whales collected a little over 10% there. So again, keep in mind on the premium sells here, this whale wants these MUs to expire out of the money. Almost 30% out of the money. Again, very likely that these will expire out of the money. Anything can happen, but 30% in a month is pretty pretty unusual there on something like this, and it does look like we are pumping a little bit here as well too, so that should help the open. You see that contract kind of decrease a little bit there too. So good little find on that one there. All right, what else do we got coming in? KKR, whatever it is, and a lot of this flow is gonna overlap earnings right now too, so we're gonna see a lot of that kind of earnings flow, that riskier flow channel right now for the next week or so. But we will find good, solid flow alerts per usual. So, um, just earnings season though, it's kind of slows down a little bit, just with everybody kind of waiting on the mega cap names. Once we get through next week, we'll see a little more flow as well too. All right, let's look at these PCGs here. Very long dated, okay, very high multi-leg here. So kind of going off that other mid-fill one, how you asked, is the blue always a multi-leg? No, so this one is multi-leg here and it's at the ask. So that's what this guy looks like in here too. So no, you just came in at a really at a very lucky guess, more so. Microsoft, we got earnings coming up. These overlap earnings. Let's see, 1,000 there, 619 there, 5, so a little over 1,000. A little higher multi-leg. Alright, let's just see. It's probably it's gonna be a messy multi-leg in here too. And I tend to stay away from the multi-leg pieces of flow. You don't need 1,000 pieces of flow a week. Again, just looking for that high quality flow more so. And yeah, this is not high quality stuff in here. Let's see. I want to see how Microsoft does do for earnings, though. So, I will um yeah. So I can go through that for you here. Let me just finish up with Microsoft here. So yeah, and Microsoft just kind of those implied moves when they are hit. It's kind of sporadic there too. So okay, I'm just gonna find a piece of flow in here just for kind of an example, because that put self flow, the MU was kind of the only decent piece of flow that was taken. That's a premium sell, so that's kind of a whole different animal here. So we're just gonna pick. Let's do how about we do those maracles just for the fun of it here. So we see these hit the feed here. Let's say we look at that. Let's we'll pretend all of our internals, everything looks good on the flow. You want to take something like this. So, and I'll do another example after this is too. So, like right now, like if I really like this flow here, I I'm I'm looking at a couple things here. So I know Mara's up significantly on the day already. So a couple of options what I would look to do if you really like that flow and don't want to miss out on it. Trade it as maybe a possible momentum trade for the rest of the day. Usually on something that's like 46 days out like this, you can typically find a better entry there. I mean, you're up almost 9% on the day. There's probably going to be a pullback, and this whale is more than likely a little more kind of maybe more mid longer term on here. Again, kind of pay attention to the earnings too. Like I would not want to be swinging anything over earnings, but like if I was gonna take this, let's say I want to take this as a momentum trade, I'm probably just gonna try to fill it what that whale's filling at there. I'm not gonna chase, but I just keep in mind that flow is time sensitive too. So like they were trading at 99 when that whale came in 95 and 99. So keep in mind that whale's average is about just $1 a contract. So let's say these come in that price. So they're already up roughly 7% right now. So that's what that contract closed at there on that 1 minute. So I kind of like to see where that whale's at, where those contracts are at. If they're up like 10, 15%, I'm probably not going to even chase them. I mean, that that's big if you're playing with size there. But yeah, so like a way I'm gonna see if I can find a better one because that's kind of a momentum entry one there. Let's just see if I can find like a one that hasn't made a move. AMD. No, let's see. I'm trying to find like a clean one that's like, how about these? No. So okay, well we can do United Healthcare. This one might kind of help a little bit. So we're just for the sake of the video for this part here, we're gonna say this flow 100% textbook. Let's just say the flow's textbook. Everything looks good on these. So again, I always pay attention to that days to expiration, 25 days out. We're gonna pretend earnings are not here. We'll pretend this flow expires before earnings. So 25 days out at the time when this came in at that 10:45, 10:50, UNH is down here, right? So we haven't really made a massive move on the day there so far. Now, let's say you just take that flow and you're trading it. So like, okay, 11, they're traded at 11.12 here. They're up about 20% or so right now. Ignore my math, but they're up a significant amount. So I'm always kind of looking for at least a 10% return. It doesn't sound like much, but you're following pretty much people you have no idea what they're doing. You don't know what they're fully doing with the contracts. Now, yeah, these contracts are up now. They could significantly drop tomorrow, and this whale could still hold. You just never know. They could be selling those on the small pump. You never fully know. So that's kind of where the risk management comes in. But like if I'm trading something like this, they're in at 11.12 and they're trading up at that $13 right now. I'm probably going to start taking some profits. I might leave a couple runners, but I'm going to start securing a lot of my profit, especially knowing that there's headline risk overnight, just how volatile the market's been. I'm probably going to take off a very significant chunk of my trade by the end of the day. And even if that whale's still in, it does not matter to me if that whale's still in or not. I got my move on the contracts. They're I'm securing my profit now. If the whale still stays in, great. Maybe you get a discounted entry and you want to recycle some of those profits, but at least you secured most of those your profits there for the day. Now let me find a good example here. So like the XOM calls, I haven't looked at these today. So okay, good example here. So like the XOMs, 420 on Friday, they ran up to 470 there, so not a massive quick return. So I don't really count that, but you got your gap up today at 521, so they hit that 521 with the spread. So 511 there, and we even came up here and hit almost 5 again there. I am definitely throwing a stop on, especially on the gap up there, because you don't know what's going to happen. So, like, I actually did swing some of these over the weekend here. So I'll tell you kind of how I traded that there. So I got them here around this area. I didn't take this exact strike. I typically don't take the exact strike that gets posted. I don't want to like pump any contracts or anything, and I typically will play closer to the money. I mean, these are pretty close to the money here, 2%, but I like playing at the money or a little in the money there just to kind of capture that higher delta. But like these, you get that kind of quick move there on Friday. Maybe if you're a quick scalper, you take something off on that because that's a from that 420 up to that 469. I mean, 470-ish or so. I mean, that's a 15% quick gain there. I mean, hey, if you're a quick trader and you throw a stop on, you can secure that. Now, I didn't do that, but like if you did, I mean, you're chopping up there and you're back down to about that break even. I think they closed just up like 1% on Friday. Like you could have scalped a quick 15% on those and then secured some profits and then re-entered the trade, possibly if you still like the flow. Now today, when we got and a little different too, because I was doing the live stream earlier, I set a limit sell after we got that gap up there. I'd have to go see what I fill that, but I probably filled about that 15 20 minutes. I had a little lower stop there, so I kind of gave up not a big chunk of profits, but probably an extra like 5-10% than I typically would. Again, I'm doing the live stream, so I can't sit there and kind of watch that there. But yeah, like I mean, plenty of opportunity to get out of something like this before that, and this is why you should be getting out of that flow too. I mean, this whale's up 15 or so percent there, up even more here at open today, and you even have another rebound. But now look, that whale's still in and they're down there. So just because that whale's still in doesn't always necessarily mean you have to be in. So oh, actually, I answer your question here, like what makes me like the flow. So just it kind of everything that we do in the streams here. Like I'm looking for like here we'll look at the put sell because this is a pretty good one here. So when this flow came in here, it's all coming in here. I'm looking at that IV. I'm looking at that spot fill, that bid ask spread. So this one's kind of coming in a little more towards that mid fill. So again, this is just kind of screen time and understanding contracts and how contracts get ate away from theta. Again, these were 30% out of the money. The odds of MU probably dropping 30% in a month, very unlikely. So yeah, again, anything can happen, but just kind of seeing that in real time, you get your IV decrease when that flow comes in. They're filling a little closer to the mid, but just kind of combining that with understanding how contracts and Greeks work, that that's part of it. But like for most people aren't selling premium, so we'll kind of look at this. So like micro, I'm want to see if I can find just a clean piece of flow. Like let's look at this one here. So this flow comes in, and this actually isn't always the cleanest flow too because we have volume coming in here right after. Yeah, today's not the best day for flow. How about these poets? So, oh god, and there's a bunch there too. Just trying to see if I can find a clean example here. But essentially, what I'm trying to do is you want to find that opening trade, and you're trying to see. And if you look back at some of those flow recap videos too, that should help. I can pop open a couple here actually. So like the Google calls from last week here. Like let's look at these. Let's take a peek at these. So like when that flow comes in, I'm paying attention to that IV. I'm paying attention to where that contract is filling. Make sure that time's pretty much all the same there. So like here, you see how that IV increases when it comes in. That's one thing I'm looking for there. These are filling at the ask. That's again another thing I'm looking for there. So this is saying it's a repeated hits descending fill. So I want to see where that descending fill is, see how many contracts that is, how much of that premium it is. So right here, and I kind of look at that fill versus spread here. So you see how it's just a tick under there. So if you're a visual learner, that's good. I kind of look at the spot price. I'm so used to that. They just added this in a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this I can see it just filling slightly below the ask there, 1 cent. It's only 6 contracts. Again, not a significant chunk of that overall trade. Our IV comes back up after that. We're filling at the ask. Just kind of following this up, following this up. We look good. So, hey, again, look, a small little drop there on 14 contracts on 9K. Again, you're only 1 cent below the ask there. It's not too significant to kind of be a red flag for me. And again, just that context around the other flow. If you look at, I'll drop the video link in here after, actually. Give me 1 second. But yeah, this comes back up here. So, I mean, you see how that IV's up like that there. Flow looks good. So like that's what I'm looking for there. Your spots filling at the ask, your timing's all the same, your IV's at least increasing or kind of recovering a little bit there. Let me grab that spreadsheet tracking video here. Give me 1 second. So if you watch this video, and this had a good. It's not a super long video. I think it's about a half hour, but okay, yeah. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. And if you go through kind of all those flow recap videos, you'll see that flow, how it's that kind of textbook looking flow. So that's what you're looking for more so there. Sorry, let's see. Yeah, and again, a lot of it's just screen time and just understand. It takes a while, and I mean, don't feel discouraged if you don't get it right away. I mean, I've been using Unusual Whales since like 2021, so I mean, just think of how much screen time has gone into that. I mean, 6 hours a day, 5 years, and just, I mean, I still learn something new every day. It's a big learning process, and it takes time. There'll be flow that looks perfect, and it doesn't work out, and yeah, no, yeah, OXT, yeah, but I do sell premium as well too. But no, that's what your bid side filters are there. So that's your opposite there of your calls. So you're kind of looking for that opposite. You're looking for that IV to decrease and those contracts to fill at the bid side there. So like those MUs that we posted today, those are good premium sells there. So anything that you see that clearly will show that selling puts there, and I see you like that one in there too. So it'll be clearly marked if it's selling premium like that, just because it's if you don't know, and if you're a premium seller, you'll understand this. If you get caught selling premium and somebody exercises contracts so on, you can get hurt. And I mean, there's different ways people sell contracts with spreads and all that. I typically will just do secured puts on stuff or secured calls, just cash secured stuff. I am not going to sell naked contracts. That is a big no, big no. But yeah, I will typically sell not very often. I do like the buying the calls and puts more, but I do sell premium though, especially on like the MUs were a very good example of something that's very far out of the money, just something that sticks out to you like that. All right. Do you guys have any flow or anything you want me to take a peek at there? Kind of went off on a little tangent there, and we're not having anything else at hit that feed there. Some QQQ calls, only 400 contracts, so again, not very big. Just kind of looking there. Yeah, tide is just continuing up. You're just not seeing any flinches really on either direction. I mean, puts kind of is the feed different from what comes in from your flow alerts? Can you expand on that a little bit? Is the feed different from what comes in from your flow alerts? Like with a feed that comes in or their filter? Yeah. So yeah, everything that comes in that anything in that trading zone, any of that flow that comes in from that risky flow, they all come from this same filter that I have on right now. So those filters that are in those downloadable guides, everything's coming from there. So I mean, I'm pulling so so okay, the Microsoft's good example here. These are like the flow might look good, but these overlap earnings. So like Microsoft, this would be considered earnings flow. Anything that kind of ends on that weekly expiration after an earnings report. No, hey, please ask the questions. Please ask the questions because you will not learn if you don't ask questions. And I always tell people nothing's a stupid question in here because everybody's obviously there's a lot of new people to the Discord. There's new people to trading. Everybody has had the same question at some point. So don't feel bad or stupid asking a question, even if it's a dumb question. Like you might think it's dumb, but 20 other people could have the same exact question and they're scared to ask the question because it's a dumb question or they think it's a dumb question. Like no, not every question is dumb. Like now I might be able to answer it quick and it's like, oh, it's an answer and it makes you like my answers aren't there to make you feel dumb or anything. Like if it's a quick answer, like oh yeah, just look here, like you might feel like, oh, it's a dumb question, but truly it's not a dumb question. I'm just trying to get you in the correct direction. So no, don't ever feel like you're being a bother asking questions or anything either. Just that's the goal. Everybody's here to learn. Everybody's here to make money. So it's ask away, ask away. We have our questions channel. You can ask in main chat wherever you feel comfortable. I do tend to kind of I'll have people kind of DM me and I kind of get them to put um I push them towards the chat there. I don't like to answer the one-on-one questions. I'd rather have it be asked in the chat, in the questions or in the main chat, just so if others have that same question, they can see it as well too. I will point people there. And yeah, questions are always good. You won't learn if you don't ask questions. Like I'll still ask questions too, and it's on certain things and all that. But like here's another good example here of like the risky flow here, and I'll remind me, I'll pop something up here in a second. So like risky flow here again, like you have kind of double hits on something like this. Now there's 32 days out and earnings are in 9 days, so that's where that risky part comes in. Like this whale could be looking to hold after earnings, maybe they're trying to trade earnings. You just don't fully know. And also if you come oops over here, like if you come up to the top of each channel too, I do have really good deep descriptions in all of the channels. So I mean, it I've got them kind of set up so hopefully they answer questions as much as possible. But yeah, there's just some questions that are one-offs that you kind of just gotta answer. So hopefully that kind of helps you a little bit with the riskier flow. Again, like Mara, this would be something that's in that risky flow. Now that flow looked good when it came in, but you're chasing something that's up almost 8% on the day. So that's kind of where that riskiness comes in. Like I'd hate to be like, oh, it's a flow alert and it looks good. Like yes, but just kind of understanding, hey, this might run another 5% tomorrow, but you're chasing something that's already significantly up. You're getting towards the end of the day. Just all that kind of thought process goes into everything. And I wish I could type out my thought process every single time, but I kind of like to just get that flow up there so you have that flow. And if you got questions on it, again, feel free to ask questions and I can kind of expand on it a little bit more. But doing that for every single piece of flow, that would be a lot. So, hey, let's take a peek at these. HPQ's hitting here. Big size here. 10,000 contracts where it looks like we're filling up the ask. We do have some volume, so let's just kind of take a peek here. So again, this looks like it might be one that would be in that risky flow here. So we have 3,000 contracts there, 7,000 there, you got 10,000 there, plus another 1,400 there. Now this one's also 10,500. That math is 7, 10. Oh, okay. My math is not there today. So it's off a little bit, but again, this is one that would probably be in that risky flow, and I honestly probably wouldn't even post this one. Just you don't know. You have to double check that open interest tomorrow on this because you do have that 10,000 here, that 10,000 here. Just because it's at the ask doesn't necessarily mean they're buying contracts. You can all that at the ask and at the bid is if I'm setting a sell, I'm buying the contracts at the ask. I can sell the contracts at the ask too. Like if HPQ, if I had calls here, everybody, ooh, that grew a little bit there. Oh no, it didn't. I was like, oh, that grew a little bit. Like I can put in an ask price there, and if it triggers, then it's technically filled at the ask. So I mean that's just kind of why you should dive in there. Like maybe this whale's exiting here at the ask on the tiny little drawdown there again. One of those you have to double check that open interest on tomorrow too. That kind of messy, and that's what a lot of that flow's been like today. Just kind of messy, messy, messy. And like something like this, I'm not even gonna waste people's time with this. I don't think anybody's gonna drop $81,000 on a contract. I'm personally not gonna do that there, especially on something a little lower size like this. Yeah. Yeah, just yeah. How about anything else? Anything else flow-wise hitting the filters? Not much. So another IWM call here, 800. So 800 against 854. Probably assume this is, yeah, that 410. Yeah, it looks like, I mean, that 800 didn't carry over. It looks like this is probably a new opener. Again, 800 contracts, kind of small. I know you're looking for calls on that, though. 2272. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything super so far. So IV spikes. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably lean these being a buy to open too. So now you have a couple other contracts to go off of for IWM there. All right. Any other flow or any questions at all? Looks like we're just kind of chopping up here at that level. Market tide's just staying up there. We're just not getting a whole ton. And we'll look at those IWM puts tomorrow too in the stream, because that's a good one there. Do you ever use unusual? Um, I have it, but I I I'm not really a big betting market guy. Um, yeah, I'm not really a big betting market guy. I can't really I haven't really looked at the page too much either in here to really give you a kind of a breakdown on anything. But yeah, just it's interesting. I'm just not a big betting market guy. That's all. Not a big betting market guy at all. All right, let's go back. All right, if we don't have any other questions, it's very, very slow. I might just hop off a little early here because the dog is jumping at my leg here and somebody wants to go outside, I think, and go to the bathroom. So I might cut the stream a little short here, about 15 minutes. We're not really getting anything anyways, so. But we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll probably do a full hour again tomorrow. So thank you guys for hanging out, and we will be back at it tomorrow. Have a great rest of your afternoon, everyone.